All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Work with Grants Weekly Public Call, and I hope that you all can hear me clearly. If my callers are having any difficulty hearing this call, definitely send me a text. Let me know. But I know that you all are there, and I appreciate you joining every Tuesday from 10 to 11 because we get so excited about the grant opportunities, especially, look, as there is the information that's being shared in the community is concerning. And if you are not concerned, look, we definitely encourage you to pay attention, to be aware, to be more aware of the talents that you have and that you can bring. Because many of the times, look, many of our community members are just looking for our leaders to make the decisions for us, failing to realize that we as the community members, look, we have the power, especially here in the American democracy or whatever you want to call it, the Republican democracy that we live in, and often forget that we are part of the big picture because we wait to get details from the leaders. We wait to get the instructions from those that guide us. But we fail to remember that, look, those that are guiding us, they need the details and the instructions too. They are not the ones that always are pulling the information together, but look, they rely on the solutions from the community member to bring them the information. This is one reason why we encourage our community members to definitely line up their leaders. Line them up on your resource report. Find out who they are. Get their contact information, and you're going to actually prepare a contact and a follow-up time that you are going to present your idea to them or your solution. And we work with our community members through our resource review. Look, we provide you checklists. We provide you templates so that you can have a way to formalize the communications to your leaders so that you can have well-developed structures to present your ideas for them. We give you the templates to make the initial contacts to your community leaders. And these are very supportive, especially when you are, really, once you've got your plan together and you're ready to connect with them. A lot of times we don't know, look, should I send this to them? Should I get this prepared for them? Is this enough? Well, look, we are going to provide you with those steps to help you guide your next step, because making the communication piece can be a very, we don't want this part to hinder you. We don't want this to stutter your growth. And when you connect with this other individual, because our leaders are human too, look, you're going to get a response. Many of us may not, or we may get the response that we want the first time. But I will tell you, we actually support you with not just creating the initial follow-up, the initial contact, but we will also support you with the follow-up contacts and the structures of the follow-up contact. Because, look, we understand here at Work with Grants, we work with a lot of insight. We get the details, and we understand that there are so many solutions that our community members or that our leaders are receiving that they can't get it all in one day. I'm going to tell you, if you all have not paid attention to the activities of our community, look, our leaders are absolutely getting the phone calls now. Now, they have had an increase of phone calls, particularly with the activity that's going on with our administrations and the way that they are handling the paychecks and the purse of the United States, that where the money is actually generated in the United States. But look, a lot of those leaders are not able to, I think that they said that the increase of calls have gone from 400 calls per minute to 1,600 calls per minute. Look, you all, that's a 4-time development of the calls that they're just getting from this concern. And I hope that my community members, my Work with Grants community members, have helped to increase those calls, because this is what we need to get out there. Make sure that you all are calling. But look, when our community members from Work with Grants call them, we know that our community members are calling them with a plan. They're not just calling to complain. They're not just calling to rant and rave about how they have not gotten their benefits for the month, or how they did not, think that all of this was going to happen if they voted in a certain way. Look, our community members are ready to present solutions to our leaders when they call, because look, this is where our leaders are looking for the impact. They are definitely looking in the numbers and the calls and the increase of calls. That makes an impact so that when they go to their meetings and their sessions, they can bring the numbers to the other members because they're a part of a group. Look, this is our leadership. Our government is a group, and we have to understand that. It is not just one individual. It is not just one method, one process. There are a lot of plans and a lot of positions in place for the protection of the people. But what we want to make sure that we do are we activate our people to make sure that they are also getting the benefits of the protections that are there. But we also want to make sure that these solutions that when our community members are sending, contacting the leaders, these solutions are well presented, are well prepared, and you have a pathway. And look, we talked about the budget. That is one of the biggest things that our community leaders are going to want to know. They want to know, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost just for one individual? How much is it going to cost for one community group? How much is it going to cost to get this established just for one entryway into our community? And many of these communities, look, some of these communities have more than one entryway into them, okay? So you have to come up with a well-developed proposal, a well-developed plan. And here at Work with Grants, we are here to support your guided efforts. And I'm going to give you, that's just going to open us up to some of these opportunities that we want to discuss here today at Work with Grants, because there's so many opportunities that even available still now that are available even through the end of the year. And we're going to tell you how you can actually identify some of your own opportunities. Look, you just do a search online. Right now, if you have access to the internet, if you have these phones and these tools that are available at your fingertips and they have the access, they have the ability to access the internet, you can easily go online and do a search of the grants available, or I said open grants, available February 2025 in your area. So that means if you're in Texas, put in Texas, find out where those grants are in your area. Now, if you all have done your resource review last week and you've already gotten your leaders listed, now what you want to do is start identifying these grants that are in your community, because you will find that many of the leaders, if they are not establishing these grants, look, you can definitely connect them with them to identify them for the leaders. These are some ways that you can support your leaders, the senators, the state representatives, your state legislatures, your local municipal participants. And look, find out where your public meetings are. As we are stepping into, we're well into quarter one of 2025, you all can at least look for public meetings. I would say at least once quarterly. You want to find and attend a public meeting at least once a quarter, because this is going to help you identify some of the concerns that are in your areas. And I guarantee you that you're going to come up with a bunch of solutions, because as you are meeting other people that also are sharing concerns, that you are sharing the same issues, look, that is where you're going to be able to gauge some of your support, or either gather some of your supporters that are going to support the missions that you want to present with grants, because it matters in the numbers. I mean, look, when you learn to work with grants, you are learning to work with partnerships. You are learning to work with process. And this is something that is so important, because it helps to organize a lot of the concerns, a lot of these immediate issues that we are coming into our community with and that we're ready to just protest about. Look, we need to understand that these protests, these challenges that we're going to have, they still need to come with some order, with some planning, with some progress, because that is one of the biggest issues, and I'll say, in our community that we have had a hard time collecting in the past, is collecting those the ways to develop the organization, to develop the benefits that we as a community can actually see. Many of our groups have actually fallen apart, and I'm not saying the ones that work with grants, but the groups that are out here in the communities, and we can just talk about some of these, the racial groups, when their missions are not necessarily coming across, and I'll say, okay, well, I said racial groups, but we'll talk about the groups that have issues, okay? And that could be whether it's a housing issue, whether it is a issue with the benefits or the health care benefits. You all know that we have issues in our community with that. But what we can really do to help support our communities, again, bring those proposals with the plans. And look, nobody says that you got to pay for the whole community. I want our community members to consider the projects that they are getting in place. And that could be, I mean, when you are working with your own individual group, how many projects can you do in a week? How many projects do you actually participate in within the month? How many projects are you all presenting within a year? You all need to understand, because many of us, look, we do quarterly projects. And sometimes because it takes a good while for us to get some of these projects together to where we can have the locations, we can have the resources, the music or the entertainment value that brings the engagements together. These processes take time to plan and to organize. But look, we want to make sure that you are also understanding the costs. When it costs to have music in our community, we all know that having entertainment or the artists to come out and support your community, it's not free. And many of us look at our artists like, oh yeah, you should just do that for free. This is volunteer. I definitely agree. Y'all know that we have the career volunteer program, so y'all can go online and activate that right now. But we definitely encourage those to operate from the pace, of being a volunteer and understanding what you are absolutely bringing, and it gets you into position of being a practice of what you want to be, in position to do on a regular basis. But look, we also want to elevate you into the payments, because like we said, it is not free to exist in the United States. And this is something that our community members need to bring to the attention of our leaders, because many of our community members, look, they are not in the position to always work for what they need. And even if they do work, look, are they getting their fair share? Look, we've got a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about that, especially when it comes to the fairness and what is being presented in our community, because this is a big space for our community members to support and step up to help our leaders who are making sure that the benefits are coming to the community, to make sure that they are being distributed fairly, to make sure that they are being shared in an appropriate manner, and also being captured where they need to be extended. You understand what I'm saying? So look, we have so much more to share here at Work with Grants with you, and we try to do this every week in this 1 hour call. But you all know that after we get off this call, there are going to be so many concerns that even are going to be developing from now till next week. So we want to make sure that our community members are getting activated. And look, you all get activated in your progress in the positions that you all are in, because you all have the value, you all have the solutions, and you have the talent that really are going to require our communities to keep moving forward. And we have to have the conversations of the cost. We're going to talk about it when we come back, so stay tuned.